Airplanes. They are wonders of technology that many people take for granted. However, how do they work from a technical perspective? You may have seen an image like this before. It shows how force is applied in 4 directions. You have gravity, the constant force pulling down on everything. There is lift, the force upwards. You have thrust propelling the plane forward, and drag, which is caused by friction with the air. So let's start with gravity. For a long time, people didn't give any thought as to why they fell down to the ground when jumping. However, one man changed this, Sir Isaac Newton. One time while walking through his garden, Newton saw an apple fall from a tree. He realized that something must be tugging on this apple constantly, albeit with less force than a human would give trying to get it down. Newton concluded that the Earth is pulling everything towards its center at the same rate. Of course, the shape and mass of an object also matter, as a lightweight object with a large base would experience more drag than a heavy object with a small air to catch wind. However, I'm going to pull a high school physics teacher and ignore drag for now. Back to gravity, the acceleration of objects at sea level is 9.8 meters per second, but gets weaker the farther you get from Earth's core. The technical details of gravity are not really required to know, so be aware of it, but don't focus on it. So now that gravity has been covered, let's talk about the events of a complete flight with the focus on Boeing 737s. The flight has 3 major steps: the takeoff, in-air flight, and landing. Let's start with takeoff. The takeoff has 3 minor steps to it. The first step is positioning the plane on the runway. The plane is usually guided by 2 people on the ground with neon sticks they wave so that the pilot knows where to go. After this, the pilot will do one of 2 things. They will either accelerate to full power but hold the brakes, or let the airplane gain speed immediately. The latter only works on longer tracks, but the former works on both small and long tracks. Either way, the plane is now in motion and moving very fast. This is where physics comes in. You see, there's this principle of aerodynamics called Bernoulli's law. According to this law, faster air has lower pressure. The wings of the plane trap air below them, causing air from above to descend to sort out the pressure difference, lifting the plane and making flight possible. So now that we are in the air and have stopped accelerating, how do we stay up? Staying up is by far the easiest. Because the plane has all this speed, we are constantly making the slow air below the wings fast and then let go of that air, and the cycle repeats. Easy. But when and how do we land? Landing generally begins by gradually descending from cruising altitude and starting to slow down to around 135 knots, roughly 100 miles from the airport. Whenever the plane gets near the airport, the plane is generally tilted by about 3 degrees downwards. As speed decreases, slats and flaps are deployed. Remember how lift was generated by capturing air under the wings? Well, the slats and flaps make this much more effective and also generate more drag. When the aircraft lands, it is generally going at a speed of around 130 knots, and the brakes are held until the plane stops. And that's it! I hope you enjoyed this video, or at the very least learned something new. In case you want to learn more, I would recommend checking out pilotinstitute.com and skybrary.aero, as they were very useful websites when making this video.